All right, everybody, for 30 years, Al Bell, a celebrated world traveler, visited more than 400 rural Iowa schools with an assembly program that just really featured some fascinating information, including costumes, artifacts from a number of foreign countries, including Spain, Kenya, Greece, Morocco, Romania, and Egypt. Absolutely amazing. Well, guess what? Al's daughter joins us now to share more about a very special program that is happening tomorrow at the State Historical Museum. So, Becky Bell-Greenstreet, thank you so much for being here. Tell us about your incredible father.
He was incredible.
Yeah.
He was courageous and creative, very, very creative and talented. How he got into the business is kind of interesting because, first of all, he did not like working for anybody. He knew he wanted to be his own boss.
He was an independent man.
He was, and he even worked at WHO radio in the early days.
Really?
Yes. So he and my mom just brainstormed. This was in the 40s, the late 40s,
yeah.
And decided what he'd like to do the best was photography and entertain. And she said, why don't we put a lot of education in there, because she was a teacher. And so they put this concept together of having assembly programs in the form of a film following his talk. He'd come out just a fire and in his costumes. Every year they went to a different country, so it was different costumes all the time the kids could look forward to. He actually went over 400 to 400 schools a year in Iowa.
Wow.
And that was just 9 months of the year.
Unbelievable. So this is before, many people don't realize, we had the internet, we had everything connected like this. Kids would never have this experience, especially in these smaller rural communities, unless your father and mom came in to share what they experienced. And now you are also sharing it tomorrow at the museum. And these are snippets or the films that your father would be a part of, correct?
Yes, the films will be shown in the afternoon.
Okay.
I think 4 of them, different.
Yep.
And Austria is one of them, Romania, I believe, is one, Galapagos Islands is one, and we end with a very remote primitive tribe in near the Amazon River in Peru called the Shipibo Indians, and that always gets the kids and grown-up kids as they are just to giggling at all kinds of things that these primitive people do and what they talk about. So it's they like that one a lot because it's fascinating.
I was going to say, I love that we could still learn as adult kids from your father's footage. So we want to let everybody know the museum does open to the public at 9 a.m. tomorrow. There's going to be a display in the auditorium open for exploration at 11, and then they're going to introduce you on the stage, and I know you have so much more to share starting at noon tomorrow at the museum.
Yes, I do.
What's one of the biggest memories you have about your father?
He was born with a hole in his heart. So everything that he did he was basically working with tired blood.
Okay.
He was one of the first open heart transplants in, well, it was in the 60s, early 60s. And despite this failing heart, he just went for every single challenge that he could see in his life. And he just, yes, I can do that, I can do that.
I love it. Be inspired by this. This man lived his life to the fullest, and we're so appreciative of you joining us this morning and sharing some of that with us.
Thank you, Jackie. I appreciate you having me.
Don't miss it tomorrow at the State Historical Museum. She's going to be back on stage starting at noon.